Greetings Internet! It's been 5 months now since Fallout 4 was released, so let's have a talk about how that's gone. This is on my mind today because last night I finally completed my first playthrough of the game. But that's not to say that it's taken me 5 months to do that, more in fact that there was a 4-month gap in the middle of that. And I think that's probably a symptom of one of the biggest problems with the game, is that at times it becomes repetitive and futile and you don't feel like it's worth playing anymore. But then on the other hand, I still love the world and the setting, so I kind of really want to like it. So it's always on my back of my mind, oh, I should go and play that and actually finish the story. But the thing is, over the last few days I've basically been forcing myself to try and do that. But my heart wasn't really in it anymore. I was just doing it to get the achievement for completing the game and getting to level 50. It wasn't actually because I particularly cared about the end of the story. But it wasn't all entirely terrible. There are various aspects of the game that I do enjoy. Often I find the sign of a good role-playing game is that when you finish it, you immediately want to start again as another character and see what differences there are with a different playstyle. And with Fallout 4 I have done that and started a second character and got to about level 7. But from what I hear, that's not actually going to be that different. One of the biggest complaints about Fallout 4 is there is not enough branching storylines. There are very few alternate paths. When you talk to someone, the conversation goes in different ways but always ends up at the same point. Even if you say no to a task, people will say, well, here's the details anyway, just in case you change your mind, and force that quest upon you, even though you said no. But another reason for starting a new character is that DLC is starting to come out now, and it's better to play that with a new character rather than an overpowered level 50 character who's going to breeze through it with no problem. But at this point I'm kind of doubtful that I will make it all the way to the end a second time. I mean, it might happen, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm enjoying playing a new character again at the moment, but I don't think that momentum will last. The problems with forced character backstory still exist. The repetitive nature of procedurally generated quests still exists. The lackluster factions with very little character still exist. But there are still interesting moments. Even on my second playthrough I found 2 side quests which I completely missed the first time around. And I still love the universe. The graphics are great, the sound's great. So basically I'm very conflicted about the whole thing. But the big thing now is going to have to be the mod tools, which are finally out in beta. Whether the mod community picks up on this is going to define whether this mod dies within a year or keeps going for another 5. On the Netflix scale at the moment, I would probably give it a 3 out of 5. I liked it, but not as much as previous installments in the series. Didn't live up to all the hype. So what would I like to see happen with Fallout in the future? To be honest, don't really know when it comes to story, but I do know who I want to write that story. To explain that fully though, you need to know a little bit of the history of the development of the Fallout games. They started in the late 90s, programmed by Black Isle Studios. They released Fallout 1 and 2. They were working on a third, but that ended up cancelled. Later, the rights to the Fallout series were sold to Bethesda Softworks, who at the time were most famous for the Elder Scrolls series, which you've probably heard of Skyrim. They used the Elder Scrolls engine that they already had to create the Fallout world, and that's when it moved to a full 3D first-person game rather than overhead 2D game. And that was Fallout 3. Now after that, while Bethesda were working on Skyrim, they asked Obsidian Entertainment to create a sort of sidequel, not a sequel, but another story set at the same time but in a different place. And that was Fallout New Vegas. Now the thing about Obsidian Entertainment is key personnel there used to work for Black Isle, and that, so far, is my favourite Fallout game. So obviously what needs to happen now is, while Bethesda worry about the Elder Scrolls 6 and not making the same mistakes they made with Fallout 4, Obsidian need to make another Fallout game using the Fallout 4 engine. Now my fingers crossed that that's actually what's happening. Maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get some information at E3 as to whether that's true or not. Do you have any thoughts on the Fallout series? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.